So right.
Hi Bones, just a quick reminder that you can sign up below to join the Patreon family to get all of the exclusive perks and also access to all of my videos early, including those that you can see on this screen right now. I hope you enjoy, and I see you there! How are you today? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a wonderful day. Today I'm here to talk to you and to do a little bit more of a reaction style video to Amber Lynn's breakup videos, because I don't know if you have seen them, but they are very like eerily similar, and so I wanted to show you them, and I wanted to talk about my opinions and why I think they are like that, but also wanted to just kind of bring this to the radar of people watching, because I feel like it is completely ridiculous that someone who has just exited a 4-year relationship can confidently sit on live stream and say, I do not think like I have done anything wrong. I can't think of a singular thing that I have done wrong in this relationship.
Single. What do you miss most about being with Becky? Nothing. If you could change 3 things that were your fault in your relationship with Becky, what would they be? Did you see the breakup coming? No, I did not see the breakup coming. If I could change 3 things that were my fault in the relationship, Twinkie's snoring, by the way. She's having a good ass nap, so if you're snoring, that's what that is. I literally can't think of anything. I know that sounds bad, but it's just like, I wouldn't change anything because I am who I am and I don't want to change for anyone.
The lack of ability to self-reflect and to gain perspective and to look back at her actions and think, okay, maybe this is somewhere that I have gone wrong, is astounding to me. I think I can pretty much confidently say, I think that like 90% of people, even those who are in a long-term relationship, not necessarily single, like I'm not single right now, and I can say like the things that I have done in this relationship that I think I can improve upon. To have 3 or 4 girlfriends who have broke up with you seemingly out of nowhere, as you say in your videos, and still after all that say like there's nothing that I can think of that I should change, none of this was my fault, and even imply that the faults were with the partner who did the ending of the relationship is to me incredible. It just shows a big lack of self-awareness and any kind of ability to reflect on your actions. But I wanted to bring that to the conversation because I kind of had that sense, and like, you know, I picked up on it a few times after watching the videos, but I didn't actually truly feel like that was something concrete until I've seen these videos side by side, and especially when I was editing, because what I did was cut up the videos and place together the bits that sounded very similar. Now, I only included the actual breakup videos, like the actual ones where they announced the breakup, but if you go back and watch the follow-up videos after that, there's a lot more similarities as well. But I have only put together about 10 minutes of these, you know, the mixture of this like remix of this video. So let's get right into this. I just wanted to, you know, maybe I'll like scoot over here a little bit, make sure my tapes aren't on the show. I don't want to do a tandem mojo here. Let's just get right into this. I have also just quickly to say I did speed them up a little bit because, as you know, Amber Lynn speaks slowly as it is, but then when she seems to be, you know, finding words and talking and thinking, she speaks even more slowly, and so it was torture watching this for the first time. I just couldn't, I couldn't wait for her to finish the sentence, so I sped it up for you guys.
Hello everybody. This is probably gonna come at you guys as a surprise, because it came at me as a surprise, definitely. Don't mind the blanket, don't mind my swollen eyes and crazy hair. I literally just woke up. I'm gonna make this video as short as possible. I was going through something the last quite a few vlogs, to be honest. Doing a lot of crying off the camera and just trying to figure stuff out. A lot of people guessed what I was going through. I'm not sure how. Lucky guess. Everyone, just, I am getting an abundant amount of people just upset with me. They're like, why is Destiny's Facebook say that she's single? Why aren't you on her profile picture? Like, what is happening? Like, why are you doing this to us? And I really didn't feel like I was doing anything to you guys.
Okay, so again, the first thing that I kind of noticed was that the audience was asking for an explanation rather than her giving an explanation to us, and that was kind of like the patterns that the people are noticing it before she actually says it.
About a month ago, I was having some troubles in my relationship. I keep about 99% of my life private, and the other 1% I do like end up telling you. Crystal and I were having like a little issue. We were trying to work it out for about 2 weeks. We didn't tell anybody. We just kept everything private completely. And on April 1st, everything kind of blew up into smoke. We decided to break up. I made a video on April 3rd, 2 days after the breakup. I literally cried the whole video. It was 14 minutes long. I cried the whole video. I was literally a mess. Hey guys, so I have actually already filmed this video. It was over 18 minutes of me just I feel like it was me making a fool out of myself. I did nothing but cry the whole video, hence why my cheeks are so red right now. And I took about a 2-hour break after that video, and I said to myself, I wouldn't feel right uploading that video. It has been 10 days since that video was made. I deleted the video because I told you guys why we broke up. I opened up about the whole situation, but it just didn't feel right to upload to YouTube. I never felt so heartbroken in my life because I love Crystal more than I have ever loved anybody in my whole life.
To me, that is like incredible that even the way she speaks is exactly the same. Obviously not an unusual thing for YouTuber to reattempt, you know, filming videos. So, you know, these kinds of things are like similar because of the nature of the situation. A lot of the things is like, oh, I can't eat, I can't sleep. And it's like, obviously, no matter how many partners you have, if you're truly heartbroken afterwards, you maybe can't sleep or can't eat. And so it's like not necessarily anything to do with her, it's just the nature of the breakup. However, there's a lot of things that she will go into now, including sleeping with her partners after the breakup, including blaming her anxiety, depression for manipulating her partners into sleeping with her after the breakup, and also things like, you know, we still love each other and we're best friends and stuff like that, even though these people who are apparently her best friends are never seen again, and just a lot of incorrect behaviors that I feel like she really needs to work on. Instead of working on them, she just turns them into a pattern. Because if you are, for example, 25 and you have this one relationship, and then you're 26 and you have another relationship, and the breakup announcement is exactly the same, including the negative patterns of behavior like the sleeping with these people afterwards, even though it's uncomfortable, you know, it's something to work on, and you can't just say, oh well, this is how I always do it, that's just how it is. No, you need to go to therapy and address that, because a lot of the time she says things like, you know, it doesn't affect me negatively, it didn't affect me negatively, it makes it easier for me if I still make people sleep with me after the breakup. That doesn't matter. Those people may be negatively affected and they just don't want to tell you because they feel bad for you, and they feel coerced into sleeping with you afterwards because you say, you know, you have anxiety issues, because you say you have attachment issues and all these things. It's still not right, and I don't feel like it is the right thing to do.
You're delusional thinking it's healthy to keep sleeping together. I slept with Crystal for months after we broke up. I slept with Destiny for a couple weeks after we broke up. It didn't affect me. The only way it did affect me was in a positive way.
And I feel like it is up to you to address why you feel like you need to share a bed with someone who clearly has said they no longer want to be in a relationship with you and they would like to end that. Why do you still feel the need to, you know, convince them and to ask them to sleep with you in the same bed? Because to me that is incredibly unhealthy. But yeah, so let's just keep going. I just think like the way she talks about these things and the exact words that she uses and how similar these things are is just a little bit alarming.
You guys met Destiny. You guys have seen that whole journey unfold, and Destiny saved me from a dark place. Like, she is, I'm like shaking. I don't want to cry. That's why I'm refilming this. She is one of the most amazing people. You don't have to be in a relationship with her to know that. You don't have to be a family member to know that. It's a very confusing situation because I'm still living with her. We tried to take the most grown-up approach over just the whole situation. It'd be a terrible, terrible idea to live together if you're broken up. No, it's not really.
We're trying to approach everything at the most mature level.
Some of you were like, well, how come she's still in the vlog? Like, why does it say single if she's still in the vlog? We do still live together. We don't want to lose each other in the sense of, like, being friends and stuff. And we're even still sharing the same bed. I know a lot of you are going to be like, what? It's very much an attachment thing. I feel like I'm honestly not going to be able to sleep alone. I just feel my anxiety and my depression is through the absolute roof. On April 1st and April 2nd, April 3rd, 4th, I cried more times than I could ever imagine.
So another big thing that she mentions a lot of the time is that, like, her anxiety and her separation issues, your mental illness or your problems or your trauma is not an excuse to put a trauma or different type of illness or different type of, you know, negative experience on other people. Just because you are struggling with something, that's not up to other people now to fix that for you, to accommodate everything that you need. Yeah, it's nice if they do, it's nice if they don't have a problem with it, but reality is they don't have to do it. It is up to you and your responsibility to address that. Why can't you sleep alone? Why can't you do that, especially at the age of 30, after a few relationships now, and when you claim that you don't believe in therapy, you don't want to go to therapy, you have nothing to talk about in therapy, blah blah blah, whatever. Well then, what are we gonna do? Because you cannot be a functional adult, you cannot be a productive member of society if you at 30 are still making your ex-girlfriend sleep with you in the bed because you're scared. That's not a good enough excuse, and you need to work on that.
This one,
Yeah.
she doesn't like being alone in the same room, but that is something, like to sleep, but that is something you are going to have to work on.
Yeah. But not yet.
No.
What, you want me to work on it now?
No.
There we go. There's your answer.
I'm just saying, I want you to...
Because unfortunately, your comfort and your selfishness in being comfortable is maybe making someone else uncomfortable and putting their comfort on the line and compromising their boundaries. And maybe to them, I know for a fact that if I said, I don't want to sleep with this person anymore, and they made me, or they've made me feel like I'm a bad person because I don't accommodate their comfort and their mental illness, that would ruin me. I am someone who is quite fragile in the mental health department, and so if I was being coerced or made to feel like shit because I didn't want to sleep with that person, I don't think I could cope. And I feel like a lot of individuals could probably relate to that. Not only that, but once again, I want to point out that just because the perpetrator or the manipulator is female does not make it any better, does not mean that we can just turn a blind eye to it. Because if Amber Lynn was a man and she was asking Becky or asking the partner to sleep with her or with him, if she was a man, in the same bed and saying, you know, I'm just so anxious, I'm just so whatever, people would be furious. If Amber Lynn was called Andrew and she was a man, and Andrew was like, no, I want you to sleep with me even after we break up because I've done that to all of my girlfriends. And, you know, we're gonna stay here in this house for now. And, you know, I need you to be my friend, and you care for me and I care for you, and I always stay in contact with my friends. I have a feeling that a lot of people would be very uncomfortable with that, and they would be saying, you know, you need to be responsible, you need to be productive, you need to work on yourself, and you need to stop making your problems everyone else's problems. Your gender should not matter in this case, and it does, because it makes such a big difference. So why does it make such a big difference? Are we just willing to overlook abusive or manipulative behavior when a woman does it to another woman, or when a woman does it to a man? Because that's also not right. And so I don't think that we should just sit here and be like, this is normal, she's always done this. Because it's not normal, and if she's always done this, then she's always done something destructive to another person, and she again needs to go into therapy and address that.
On January 13th, ironically enough, it was actually Friday the 13th, Destiny broke up with me. Do you want to tell him?
Okay. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and just say it. We have broke up. It happened Sunday, and it was initiated by me.
Since then, I have filmed videos, I've put on fake smiles, I have cried every single time I shut off the camera. I have screamed in my pillows. I have questioned if I am worth anything. I don't know how some people guessed it. I really have no idea. When I admitted it on one of my social links that you guys communicate to me, however you word it. So people were calling me a liar. Definitely not a liar. Some of you were like, some of you knew that we broke up. And a lot of you were saying that I was doing this for attention. This is not attention. No, it's not. I have some things I have to work through. I have to work on myself for myself. I want to better myself.
Yeah.
But then I feel guilty because it's like, why didn't I do that while I was with you? Even thinking about like just bettering myself in any way.
Another big point that she makes in quite a few of these videos is that she wants to better herself. She wants to focus on herself. And again, there's a little bit more to it, like in the videos around the breakup. She, you know, after the initial, I guess, shock or emotions are kind of let out, she then reflects and she says things like, you know, I do want to work on myself, blah blah, whatever. Like there's still like little bits of information around the content. But here's the thing, so if 5 years ago you knew that you had to work on yourself and then immediately got into a relationship, did you have time to work on yourself? Because now 5 years later you are still saying you need to work on yourself and immediately getting into a new relationship. So how is this not an obvious pattern? Which it is an obvious pattern because you've acknowledged it before.
Decided that that's just not
Right. Yeah. No.
I mean, I'll just speak for myself. We've talked about it, but I don't want to be in a relationship. I know I have a bad record of always finding someone like a month after a breakup, but I cannot see myself ever remotely looking at someone like I looked at you.
So how can you sit here and be like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, take this time to myself. I know I have a bad past with, you know, just jumping from one into another in terms of relationships, but it's not going to be like that, and then you continue this pattern. That shows me complete unwillingness to actually work on yourself, seek help, go to therapy, and just take time to work on you as a person. Even more than that, it's even about not dragging other people into your shit show.
Please don't pull me into your emotional fuck pie.
Because sometimes, yes, it's nice to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, but sometimes when we are not ready as individuals and we had so much stuff that's like in us and, you know, just building inside, it's unfair to then pull other people in and expect them to stick by us all the time and always and just take everything. It's unfair to place that on someone else. I wouldn't want that placed on me, and I wouldn't want to place my issues and traumas on another person. It's great if you can have a supportive partner, it's great if they don't mind, but unfortunately a lot of people do mind, and a lot of people then go on to feel horrible about themselves because they can't handle what you put on them because you didn't choose to go and get it sorted. You weren't respectful enough to yourself and other people to take care of yourself or actively work on it. I'm not saying you have to absolutely enter every relationship sorted, having no problems at all. Not at all, that's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying at least have this initiative and ambition to work on yourself. But to know that you have these deep issues that you need to work on and still just push them aside and repress them and get into a new relationship, pretend like everything's fine and just dandy and everything's great, I don't think that's fair on you or the other person.
Destiny will always be a part of my life because she is literally just everything to me. We want to stay in each other's lives, so
Absolutely.
but like I've been friends with all my exes besides like a couple.
So here the big thing is that she's saying things like, you know, we are always going to be together, we're always going to be best friends, like I always have healthy breakups, we're always friends, always this. And she speaks very highly of these people that we never hear about ever again, which granted, maybe she's friends with them off camera. But then sometimes her alleged best of friends also have videos and YouTube channels, and, you know, they frankly say we're civil.
There's no me and Amberlynn. Oh, do you still talk to Amberlynn? I mean, I do talk to Amberlynn every now and again. I mean, we're friends or whatever, and we're civil with each other.
And so I've said this before, but I feel like Amberlynn is completely deluded in terms of, like, you're not going to be best friends. You're not, because your paths are going to completely go separate ways, different directions. You're going to move on, or she's going to move on, or, you know, whatever's going to happen. You're going to have lives. that will not allow you to constantly be in your life. Especially as ex-partners, it could just get weird because you don't know how tolerant the other person's new partner is going to be. Maybe they're going to be like, hey, it's a bit weird that you're still friends with your ex and you're calling each other's best friends, especially when one of them has already admitted that they were in love with the other one for 2 years of a relationship. I think if I speak for myself, I would be made uncomfortable if I was like, yeah, he is, I don't know, like Megan, my, you know, ex-girlfriend who I'm still friends with, who has admitted that she was in love with me 2 years into her new relationship.
I want to say probably upwards to a year and a half after Destiny and I broke up, I was still in love with her.
But we're still besties. That's exactly what happened with Amberlynn and Becky and Destiny, to the point where Destiny would sit there and go, you wish I was Becky, huh?
You wish I was Becky, huh?
Are you out of your goddamn mind? Do you think I would tolerate that if on my birthday, like, my partner's ex was like, you wish I was Sarah, huh? I think the fuck not. So, unfortunately, I do not believe that in every case you're going to be best friends, you're going to be this, you're going to be that, because sometimes things get complicated and sometimes partners of partners just don't want to do that. And sometimes your ex, your best friend, may simply choose to respect the new partner's decisions and the new partner's, you know, boundaries and say, okay, I won't be friends with her. Regardless, Destiny has literally said, you're full of drama, didn't want to be with you. And we're civil. So I feel like this one very, like, intense but one-sided relationship comes from Amberlynn, where she's like, oh, but you said we'll always be best friends and we're best friends this, we don't want to lose each other. You're not realistic. You're being delusional. You need to acknowledge that this relationship has ended. If it's ended on good terms, that's great, but you don't have to be best of friends that you've ever could imagine.
Another thing that I wanted to bring to your attention here from the editing side is that once you agree to be Amberlynn's bestie, best friend, you know, bestie for life after you break up, she will do anything to keep you around to benefit her. Look at this clip of her trying to convince Becky to sign a legal document so that she will still come on her live stream and do these live streams with her or for her. And Becky is like, no, I don't know, we'll see, I don't know what I'm gonna do, I don't know, clearly saying like no. And Amberlynn's like, no, but you don't do anything, like, should we sign a legally binding document to keep you on my channel so that I can still benefit from you? Completely ridiculous. And honestly, Becky, run. All of these exes should just be like, no, we're not staying friends, we are parting ways, and stop deluding yourself that we're still gonna be in your life, because this is just wrong.
Will Becky still do the lives when she moves out? No.
Well, can we talk about that off camera? Because I'll still pay you. Don't you want extra? All you do is sit here and talk.
I don't know, man.
We need to sign a contract.
We'll see what
Can
I'm
we
up
get,
to.
like, real professional with this?
We'll see what I'm up to. Because I know how you'll get too. You'll be like, I don't have items and I need you to go to the store to get them. Amberlynn, it's like 11 o'clock at night and I'm tired. But I'm your boss.
Like, that's completely ridiculous to me, and I feel like it's very unhealthy to delude yourself to still have an attachment to that person, because now you're almost placing a responsibility on them. Like, yes, you're not sleeping with me in that way anymore, you're not my partner. Maybe, you know, we are no longer set to get married, but now you still have to be in my life. And so she's still keeping hold of them, being like, you can't leave, but you've said we were best friends and you're going to come see me and you're going to do this. It's still this attachment. Why can you not cut ties with people when they have clearly expressed that they want to cut ties with you?
The breakup was all up to her, and I can't force her to be with me when she needs to figure stuff out. It's more so like something going on internal with Destiny, and it's just not, it's not up to me. But this is more so a breakup of her not wanting to be in a relationship.
This is a big problem that I have. This is something that flagged up to me immediately when I was watching this. Basically almost pushing away the responsibility. So this ties directly into, after the 4 years, I can't think of anything that I've done wrong. I don't think I would change anything at all. Excuse me. In every single video you have said this is something not to do with me, this is something to do with the other person, it's internal, it's with them, it's they have the problem, they whatever, and you are consistently saying I've done nothing else, I've done nothing wrong, I have nothing to do with this breakup, no matter what I would do I couldn't fix it, and it's nothing to do with me.
Her not wanting to be in a relationship is just not the type of happiness that you should have inside of a relationship. And it's just how it is. That stuff's not really fixable. Because sometimes love just isn't enough.
Please take time to gain perspective, take time to reflect, and take time to see that maybe all of the compilations on the internet showing us how poorly you treat your partners and how disrespectful you are towards your partners, maybe, just maybe, there's something that says maybe it's you. Maybe as a person, if your partners consistently leave and you say I've done nothing wrong at all and it's nothing to do with me, and yet they are now in new happy relationships, maybe it was you. Maybe it was you. And I'm not saying feel guilty about it and sit there and cry and whatever else. I'm just saying reflect, identify the things that you think you have done wrong, ask them. If you're still best friends, they would have no problems talking to you and telling you the things that, you know, that maybe bothered them.
Even though I'm still mad about what you said on that one live.
Oh, tell me more.
She should feel like crap.
That was 10 years ago at this point.
That was 10 years ago at that point.
And then, you know, fix them. Or attempt to fix them, or attempt to address them, or attempt to identify them for the future, and then identify them and try and fix them, or try and like prevent them from happening. But no, instead we get, this is nothing to do with me, nothing to do with me, it's up to them, they had the problems, they had internal stuff going on, there's nothing I can do, and I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change for anyone, I wouldn't reflect on my behaviours, and I've done nothing wrong. That's what we get. And unfortunately, you will not be able to have a clear line of communication with someone who thinks like that, with someone who never thinks that they are at fault, or they think that if the only reason they are at fault is because you've led them to be at fault. Yeah, I've done this, but I only did this because you did something else. Or, well, okay, if I'm at fault, but you are too. It's never just, yep, okay, this is what I've done wrong, I'll take responsibility for it, and I'm sorry, and I'll be better.
Let's not act as if you haven't mistreated Becky. We've both mistreated each other.
And that's something that is so prevalent in all of these. And again, if you find yourself saying that same thing, seeing the same pattern for years at this point, for 5 or 6 or 7 years, maybe it's time to address it with a professional. Maybe it's time to mention that to your psychiatrist and therapist. And maybe it's time to reflect and maybe, I don't know, keep a journal.
You know, she still loves me and I still love her. We care about each other so much. Crystal and I are the bestest of friends you could ever imagine. We have a connection that I don't think we'd ever be able to find with anybody else. Big thing that we had together.
A friendship.
Best friends. But like, Becky's my best friend.
In your mind.
Regardless if we're in a relationship or not. Like, just because you take out the parts of a relationship that you usually have with someone, why would you take out the best friend aspect? Because I can't imagine you not being in my life.
I want to be in your life. I want to be in their life. They're my babies too.
I know. I just can't imagine someone else having my love. It's not, like the comfort, like I just can't see, like
Somebody's already trying to get you.
You're home.
Another big thing that I talk about a lot in my videos is this terminal uniqueness that Anne Boleyn has displayed throughout the years. That is, you know, being the, you know, a medical mystery that all of this well-documented scientific research and method can apply to everyone else, but it doesn't work for me. I'm just different. When in fact she's not. And unfortunately, this is again where you can see it, where it's like this relationship that I have with this person, this bond is one in a lifetime. She uses very strong words like, we could never have this with anyone else, we love each other, we are best friends, and yet you go on and never see these people again, or see them very briefly, or, you know, see them in a very unhealthy way where you're still lusting after them even though you are in a relationship and they're in a relationship. And unfortunately, it's just time to admit that, like, maybe that bond wasn't as unique when you said, you know, I'll never have anything like this again with Crystal, and then you had it with Destiny, and then you said, we'll definitely never have anything like this again with Destiny, and then you were with Becky, and now you're saying, I'm never gonna have anything like this again with Becky, and now you're with this person called Wifey, and you've never met her yet. in your life. You've only FaceTimed her and you've only seen her online, and you're saying, this is the best I've ever felt. I've never felt anything like this. Maybe if you've never felt anything like this 6 times in your life now, again, maybe start using other words, saying things like, oh, like, this is, you know, this is different, or like, this is something that I felt before and it's making me happy. It's just stop putting so much weight on these people, on these bonds, because maybe they are completely ordinary and it's just you're romanticizing too much. Maybe you're putting too much of an expectation, or too much, you know, you're making up these scenarios in your head that maybe are not grounded in reality.
And I just wish that I would be her wife one day, because that's how it was supposed to be.
Because just early this year, we wanted to get married. We truly did.
And again, that was just to show you these, like, I feel like when she falls hard, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a Cancer, like, me too. But if you know this, and if you, again, identify this pattern of, oh, I always jump into a new relationship straight away, and I'm not going to do it this time, you need to identify, you need to correct, and you need to be better, and you need to try and correct that issue. It's not normal to be so codependent on your partners, to not be able to be on your own at all, and yet after every relationship ends, identify the same issues and then do nothing about it. So I just wanted to like show you guys how incredibly similar every single breakup is, and just to, you know, use it as an example. If you can see that in yourself, if you can see every single time after I break up with someone, or someone breaks up with me, or maybe I cut ties with a friend, because it doesn't always have to be romantic. Maybe every time I find myself, you know, excluding people from my environment for the same reasons, is it truly that same reason that all of these strangers share, or is it something to do with me? Is it an insecurity of mine? Is it an acquired trait of mine? Is it a trauma, like, is it trauma that comes back to the surface? Is it some kind of problem that maybe I can address and I can spot, and I can talk to my professional about it, talk to a therapist about it, or maybe I can even write it down, be like, okay, every time you feel like this is the coping mechanism that you need. This is what you can implement in your life, because that's really important. And working actively on saving these interpersonal relationships is going to have a much more beneficial outcome for you and effect on you in your life and everyone around you, because then you working on that and you're improving with each new ended relationship and each new, like, you know, cut tie. There's something on top of that that's like a benefit. Like, yes, it's ended, but at the same time I took this away, worked on it, and now I'm going into a new one even better and even more fulfilled and a better person, and hopefully this is going to be the one. And if it's not, okay, well, let's take that, and what did I learn from this one? Okay, I'm going to go into this new one, this new relationship, new friendship, new whatever, work colleague relationship, better, with a better understanding, with a more, you know, more developed, as a more developed person. But yeah, I just thought they were incredibly interesting, very similar, but do let me know what you guys think. I hope that you enjoyed, and I shall see you in my next one. Bye.